Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today I'm going through 10 unique games for the PlayStation 2 from my own collection. I own 486 PlayStation 2 games, and I'm going to go through some of the games that I think are the most unique. So not the most expensive or the least expensive or the best, just 10 strange, unique games. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. Now for my first unique game, I'm going to cheat a little bit and include all of the Australian rules football games on the PlayStation 2. There were 6 games released in just 4 years. Now there have been AFL games released since: AFL Live on the PS3, AFL Live 2, AFL Evolution, Evolution 2, AFL 23, but they normally take about 4 to 5 years per releases. So on the PS2, this was probably the pinnacle of Australian rules football games, and the games just got better and better. Live 2003 is pretty good. I did enjoy it a lot at the time, when really the game before this was AFL 99, so it had been 4 years. AFL 2004, I really enjoyed this. I believe that's Severia Rocker on the front. If it's not, I'm so sorry. It's been 20 years, it's a long time. So 2004 was really good. Then I believe it was the Premiership Edition. So really just some minor updates there as well. A little bit cheeky. And then 2005, pretty cheeky, releasing a game between a game. There's 2005, and it's probably 05-06 the peak of this series. AFL Live on the PS3 is fantastic as well. But if you are not from Australia, you're probably not familiar with these AFL games. I know when I was living in the UK, they did release these at the local game store, and I was very surprised that you could actually buy Australian rules football games in the UK as well. You could put yourself in the game, you could create your own character using the iToy, and it would photo map your face. It ended up being pretty gruesome, but 2006, and then finally at the very end, 2007. So 6 AFL games in just 4 years. It was the absolute pinnacle of time to be an AFL fan, a video game fan. However, my very favourite AFL game is AFL Live on the PlayStation 3. Did you play any of these games? Let me know if you did. If you've seen these for the first time, let me know. My next unique game for the PlayStation 2 is The Bouncer, which was released by Squaresoft, known at the time for their Final Fantasy series. So 7, 8, 9 had just come out, and before 10 made its way to the PS2, The Bouncer came out very early on in the PlayStation 2 life cycle. Now, I did have a whole entire playthrough of this game, so hopefully I flicked that up the top so you can click it and watch, but it's actually a pretty short game at under 2 hours. And I remember the downside, even though this game has incredible graphics and it's a kind of action beat 'em up game with a few RPG elements there, and the cutscenes are just so incredible, even 24 years later they're so good. But the downside was this game was the full $100 upon release based on where you lived, and it could be beaten in 2 hours. So imagine dropping $100, which is probably $150 Australian, probably $100 US now in 2024 money. Dropping it on a game you could beat in under 2 hours, and there's not really a lot of replayability. So I remember hiring this game out, having this game hired out from a video store back when that was a thing, and playing it that way because, you know, just couldn't justify dropping $100 on a game that could be beaten so quickly as well. But let's have a little look through the manual. But it's still a unique game because Squaresoft didn't really come up with like beat 'em ups and action games like this at the time. They're more known for Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and then when you heard there was a new game from Squaresoft, you're probably thinking 30, 40, 50 hour JRPG, and you got sub 2 hour kind of brawler adventure game. So it is good though. If you play it now, it's a good playthrough, and if you can find the game for about $10 or $15, it's definitely a good 2 hours. You know, as you're trying to play some of these older games, you don't want a game that is 100 hours long when you're trying to clear a backlog. So in 2024, this game being 2 hours long is actually really good, but back in 2000 upon release, yeah, not so great, but definitely a unique game to the Squaresoft catalogue. My next unique game is Drakengard, the first game of, I believe, a 3-game series, and this is when Squaresoft had changed and morphed into Square Enix, their merger with Enix, creating Square Enix, which we know today. And this game kind of reminds me of like Dynasty Warriors, where you're like one character beating up hordes and hordes and hordes of enemies. All of these games are actually quite difficult to find, and I think this game just missed out on my top 10 most valuable list, but it's still at least a $30 to $40 Australian game. I'm not sure in other territories, and I know Drakengard 3 on the PS3 is quite a pricey game as well. This is the only one I actually have in the series. Gave it a little playthrough for this video, so I did enjoy the graphics. Quite a niche game. It's not one that you hear get talked about a lot. Maybe this game was a lot bigger in Japan, and the port over sold probably a few copies, so you don't see this around very often at all. If you're looking for older PS2 games, you might go to a retro game store, you won't generally find these Drakengard games, and if you do, they're probably at least $40 to $50, which is, it's really for the quite hardcore collector. You're not just going to be able to pick this up for a few dollars. And actually, I have no idea where I got this copy from. Maybe in a bundle from someone, or maybe at I just don't know. I can't remember where it came from. I've started putting receipts inside the games now, which help me remember where I bought it and how much I bought it for. But if I bought more than one game, then the receipt only can go in one game. So, but if you are a fan of Dynasty Warriors, I know there's heaps and heaps and heaps of those games. I think I've got 8 somewhere floating around on the PS4. But there's so many Dynasty Warriors games. So if that's the kind of game for you, then you'll enjoy Drakengard if you can track down a copy. But it's a very unique game as well, so I thought it was well worth its inclusion in this video. Like with any of these games, if you have played them, really cool artwork on this book as well. What I do like about the PS2 is you do get cool booklets with all these games as well. But if you've played any of these games, let me know what your favourite one is. If you played them, if you got any unique games of your own that you might have included on this list. It was actually quite hard to find, just 10 out of 486 to pop in this video, but there's this game, Drakengard. The next game on my list is Fur Fighters Vidjo's Revenge. Now, what really caught my attention with this game is it really kind of feels like they're ripping off that Conker's Bad Fur Day vibe. You've kind of got a furry main character with a bit of attitude, with some guns, kind of going against the G-rated mascot type games of your Marios and your Crash Bandicoots and your Spyros, your really lovable characters. So kind of want a mascot with a bit of attitude. I don't really ever hear this game getting talked about, but really just looks like a very, very similar Conker's Bad Fur Day clone. If you've played it, let me know. I haven't really played it very much, but the fluff is about to hit the fan. Furry warriors, heavy artillery, kidnapped babies, brutal fur shed, evil villains and teleportations, all that in the first 10 minutes. Are you ready to enter the deranged, crazy cartoon world of Fur Fighters? A completely unique style of gameplay, first-person shooter with action, adventure and puzzle solving. So I think it's really just like an action game where you can shoot things, so they call it like a first-person shooter as well, but they're really trying to kind of get into that more adult vibe. And I'm not really sure what the rating system is. This game might have come from the UK or Europe, but sometimes the Australian games, for example, here are just just pop it in the top, you'll get the Australian labelling. But generally, we got games from Europe as well, and they'd have the European labelling on there. But at the time, there was no 18 rating, so I don't think this game is too kind of brutal because it's only an 11 plus instead of like a MA or a 15. So I don't think they've gone for like ultra violence, but yeah, it's an interesting game because I don't hear anyone talking about it, and it's kind of been lost to time. So Conkers is remembered quite fondly, but when there's so many PlayStation 2 games, obviously some are going to be well known and some are just going to be absolutely forgotten to the realm of time unless it was a game you played as a kid. So I remember there's some Super Nintendo games that I absolutely love, but if you didn't play them at the time, you probably don't have a deep fondness for them. Things like Breath of Fire and Zombies and Unirally and those kind of games. So if you have a nostalgic, link to a game, you're probably going to enjoy it a bit more. Kind of like Banjo-Kazooie. And obviously Acclaim made Crazy Taxi, so that was an awesome game. So it looks like they made this game as well. So Crazy Taxi I absolutely love. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Fur Fighters. Now the next game on my list is International Cricket Captain 3. Now if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that I'm number one, a huge cricket fan, and also number two, a huge cricket captain fan. And I've been playing Cricket Captain for more years than I care to remember. It's literally the only game I play on my phone. It's Cricket Captain, well 24 at the moment, but I've played through 20 and 21, 22, even some of the older games, 2008 and 9 on the channel. So if I can link them up the top, I will, but if not, search the channel for Cricket Captain. I did a big series. Cricket Captain came out really in the mid to late 90s and was primarily a PC game to start with, but then there was some PlayStation 1 adaptions which actually run pretty slowly and sluggishly. Like I have 2002, but I think there's like a 98 or 99 and a 2000 and a 2001 version that kind of released each year on there. And then on the PS2, I think the only one is this one, 3. And it's been off consoles for a long time. And they did release 2024 on console on the Switch. But unfortunately, it's just the download code in a box, which is absolutely gross. Otherwise, I would have bought it just to have on display, but I'm absolutely not buying a code in a box as well, unless it was maybe under $10, because I don't see the point why you have to. You buy physical games to have them long after servers have gone and games have been delisted. I mean, I did just buy, sidebar, but Game of Thrones, the Telltale version on PS4, that's completely delisted. The only way to play that is having a physical copy of the game. So anyway, Cricket Captain I absolutely love. I actually played this quite a lot on the PS2. So I was playing on PC, but at the time I only had a Mac. So to play Cricket Captain, you had to have like Virtual Console on your Mac, and then you had to boot up a kind of like a substitute Windows just to play Cricket Captain. So it was a lot of faffing around. So I did have this, and this had the 3D match engine. So before that used to be, this is the 3D engine that they still have now, and honestly half the game is still the same as all the way back when this game was released in 2007. But before that, it was more kind of like a top-down 2D type of experience. But again, if you're not from kind of England or Australia or one of those countries that love cricket, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, in the Caribbean, then you probably have never even heard of Cricket Captain. So this might be a game you've never seen before. So check out the footage, see what you think. I still love it. I play it on my phone every single day. Now earlier I was talking about nostalgia, games that hold a place in your heart, and this is a game that holds a lot of nostalgia in my heart, a game that I had all the way back when I first got a PlayStation 2, and that is MTV's Music Generator 2. And something that really attracted me to this game was being able to watch the Clint Eastwood Gorillaz video. on the disc whenever I wanted. Everyone, you're so spoiled today. If you're under a certain age, you will know what it's like to have to watch a video hits show just to see the one song that might play that you like, and maybe record it on a VHS to be able to watch it back. There was no YouTube. There was no easy way back in 2001 to watch a music video. YouTube didn't exist. You could download clips, but they would take forever. So I was interested in making my own music. I'm not super musical. I wish I was a little bit more musical than I am, but even not being musical, I remember making many funky beats and tunes and having a great time playing this game. So I know there was like Music 2000 for the PS1 that was really popular, and there was a few kind of music creation games floating around there, but this is the game that I played a lot of. There is Music Generator 3, which I didn't have back in the day, but it's a pretty similar premise. It's the same. Not sure if you get any music videos on here or not, but you've got some music that you can use. But did you have any Music Generator games? It's not really a thing anymore with the power of PCs and the ease of access to music creation, but again, over 20 years ago, games were kind of filling that void as well. So this is a game I have very fond memories in, and I hope you enjoy my little tune off to the side there. Now, back in the mid-noughties, there was a massive battle, which if you were not there, you probably don't realise how huge the battle was, between FIFA and between PES. Now, I was always all in from FIFA from the early days until a friend introduced me to PS3, and once I got PS3, I was hooked, and then when PS4 came along, I was all into PES. So I didn't really have PES 1, but PES started gaining popularity here. PES 1, PES 2. PES 3 I played at a friend's house, and I love this because it's got the referee on here. I played this a lot around my mate's house, and then I went into buying 4. I haven't even bothered taking the stickers off yet. 4 is just such a good game. It's still so playable today. 5 was excellent, and it's a bit tricky because for 6, a lot of people like Pro Evo 6, and maybe they think that's their favourite of the PS2 PES era. I'd probably go with 4 very closely just in front of 5. So those were the PES games as well. What I was really into was LMA Manager. So not really 2002, but 2003, I played it around a friend's house a lot, 04 and 05. So I probably played these 3 before transitioning into Football Manager on the PC around 2006. But we are talking about a bit of an enigma, a bit of a weird game, which is Pro Evolution Soccer Management. Really, you had a lot of management options when you played Master League because you're in control of making your own team and managing your own team. So I'm not really sure what this game was in the who it was in the market for. Maybe it was trying to take some of the LMA Manager crowd, maybe some of the earlier Football Manager crowd, maybe some of the Championship Manager crowd. But for a lot of people, they don't even know that this game exists as well. They're very familiar with the 6 PES games as well, and there was like International Superstar Soccer. But for the actual PES series, people know those. But Pro Soccer Management doesn't really get talked about very much at all as well. So it's a really big book. So I'll try and skim through while you're checking out PES as well. It's really just the same menus that you get in around like PES 4, PES 5 era as well. So you know, I'm sure there were people that did enjoy this game if they were into PES, but it's really kind of like Master League in its own game. So I don't know if they were trying to expand their sales, but I don't think you really get too much more than you'd get by having your own Master League team anyway. But, you know, if you did play it, let me know. It'd be awesome. Now, the next game on my unique PlayStation 2 game list is called Prism Chapter 1, The Dark Unicorn. Now, I'm just a little bit of a spoiler for you here. I don't believe there is a Chapter 2, They tried really, really hard to make this an amazing fantasy adventure game that maybe was going to spawn lots and lots of chapters. Maybe a bit like Shenmue, where there was supposed to be about 7 chapters, but really 1 chapter, some mediocre reviews, and no one really ever talked about this game again. So when I saw this game, I thought that's unusual. I haven't even heard of it before. Picked it up, gave it a little playthrough for this video. Look, I'm going to be honest. The bones are there. The magic, the fantasy world appears good. It's just not overly exciting or overly fun. It's a little bit frustrating. It's about a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's a bit plodding. It's not super polished. So I think they tried really hard and they had some great ideas. I'm not sure it sold particularly well. I don't really like the name, like Prism. It's not what you're going to go and rush out and tell all your friends, hey, I got this game, Prism, you need to go and play it. Just sounds a bit weird. So let's have a look at the cover. In a desolate world where mutants reign. I think that's, you make a desolate world, it's easier to create than a thriving world. Fate lies in the hands of 2 unlikely heroes. A corrupting plague of dark magic grips the world. Once lush lands have turned barren, and the inhabitants have become hostile mutant creatures. Now, join the quest of a unique young unicorn and a tenacious old troll in a desperate bid to find and destroy the source of the curse. Okay, so there's a good idea behind there. I mean, it's quite similar to most fantasy style games. There's this cool wizard, there's a unicorn there. I don't know what, oh, this was like I think a price sticker on there. I was trying to wonder what that was. I think it was like half price or something. $30 pre-owned. We've got no manual in there either. I can't remember where I got this from, but you've just got the game disc. It looks fine. It's a shame that there is no manual to show you, but do you remember this game at all? Because I had no idea this game even existed. I'd never even heard of it before I picked it up, so I thought I'd add it to the unique games list. The next game on my unique PlayStation 2 game list is Rez. Now, a lot of people are familiar with Rez. They probably don't realize where Rez originated from. They might be familiar with the PSVR version that I have as well, and you can find a physical version, although I don't have it, I just have it digitally. And also you might be familiar with Rez on the Dreamcast, but not Rez on the PlayStation 2. So I did manage to track down a fairly reasonably priced copy. It's not a cheap game, it's not an expensive game. It might set you back somewhere around 20-30 Australian dollars, maybe more now since I've purchased it. But it's still really good to play in its original form on the PS2 or the Dreamcast. But it's just interesting to see kind of where the idea came. And not a long game, again, probably only a couple of hours long. So maybe back in the day, people were a little bit more adverse to very short games. Now we kind of like a range of games, and games can be priced. If they're short, they can be priced, you know, at $10 or $20 or $30, as opposed to kind of back in the day, games were just a flat $100 for the most part when they came out. So it was a big investment to drop $100 on a game that was maybe only 2 hours long, and it was a little bit out there graphically as well. So while it's styled beautifully now, when you're looking for cutting edge graphics. Back in the early 2000s, maybe you're thinking, gee, this is, you know, let's have a look at the graphics. This is not really what I'm looking for in a game as well, especially if you think of things like Vib Ribbon that didn't sell very well because it was just black and white, where really the gameplay is what's important. But we were in the graphics era back then, and there's a really cool booklet, so this is probably the most exciting thing that you're getting out of here. You've got a really cool design cover. I really like the cover. And I like this simple grey booklet as well. So it is probably a little bit hard for you to see. You definitely need yourself a memory card to have a look. And I kind of like this simplistic kind of orange on black background. And it tells you more about the game. The game doesn't really go through this. The world has become massively overpopulated. It's been crippled by rising crime. Project K has been created. Eden has more advanced AI than any machine. this is kind of what I like about some games when they have booklets. They don't need to tell you this in game, but your job was to read through the booklet. You're about to travel into cyberspace of the Project K network. Open your sensors, and there's your controls. Pretty simple controls, but the game is really fun if you've ever played it. You got your subsystem, and sometimes it tells you a little bit more about what all your support systems do, and how your score works, and how the overdrive works, how hacking works, you know, how everything works there, as well as your kind of character. There's the forms that you can evolve and de-evolve into. So basically you're hacking in this game, but simple premise, very cool game. A lot of people don't realize it's actually on the PS2. You know, they're familiar with the VR game, which is amazing as well. So if you can play it on PlayStation VR, please do. But if you want to track down an original copy, that's awesome as well. And I've saved the very best unique PlayStation 2 game for last, and it is the beloved Simpsons Hit and Run. Everyone is always asking for this to be remastered. If there's one game from the PS2 era that can be remastered, people frequently name drop this game. I played to a fair amount of it right back, all the way back when I started the channel. So if I can pop it up the top, I will, but if I can't, maybe I'll link it at the end of the video, or you can have a search on my channel, because I'm not sure how many people actually watched it, but I did play through at least the first 4 chapters, and it was lots of fun. It does get a little bit hard in some places. It would benefit from a bit of a quick save modernization, or not having to replay entire levels if you mess up one little thing. But it kind of is a bit like the Road Rage game is the Crazy Taxi ripoff, and Hit and Run is more a bit like The Simpsons but GTA, where you go and do missions and complete things and collect things. So save Springfield by car, by foot, by the seat of your pants, and you play as Homer and Marge and Bart and Lisa, and you go around Springfield. It was awesome to have Springfield as like a full 3D world to explore as well. You know, even if it's not completely traditional to the series, just to have, you can drive around, you can go to the Quickie Mart, you can go to the power plant, you can see the Simpsons home in 3D. That was absolutely amazing. So I know there are so many people that would love to see this remade or remastered. I'm not really sure how the rights work with these licensed games. It's always a little bit hard. The Simpsons game on PS3 is pretty handy as well if you've played that. That's pretty cool, but let's have a look inside. Sadly, I only have the Platinum version. I try not to collect Platinum versions of games if I can, but it's also quite a pricey game. I think it just missed out on my top 10 most valuable PS2 games, but will normally set you back, at least in Australia, around $40 to $50, unless you're lucky to jag it online somewhere in a bundle. But I have the Platinum version, so it still plays well, and for some reason when I looked inside, I didn't get 2 copies, but I had a loose copy, and then I also have another copy, and I managed to have 2 Platinum copies. So, you know, when these games are old, sometimes they get a little bit scratched. So with a game as awesome as Simpsons Hit and Run, it's worth it to have a spare copy I must have got from somewhere as well. But let's check out the booklet. The booklet's a pretty good size. Might leave the back for you to have a little look at as well. Let's check it out. I do like the booklet. This is probably one of my favorite PS2 booklets. You've got some cool animation here. 2003, so over 20 years old now. So it's kind of hard to, unless you're a pretty hardcore collector, you do have to have a PS2 that still works and find a copy of this game. So if you're really into game collecting, you're probably like, yeah, no worries, that's pretty easy. But if you're someone who just has the latest console, to track down a PS2 and a copy of this game is, you know, and a working memory card and a good controller, it's kind of beyond what most people are willing to go through just to play like one old game as well. and I know some people do go on the internet and sail the seven seas, but some people are into the authentic, real deal. So the citizens of Springfield are growing suspicious over the sudden appearance of mysterious black vans and video cameras throughout the town. Where do they come from? Who is behind it all? And what's all the buzz about new and improved Buzz Cola? So let's get a bit challenging in the later levels. But yeah, please check out my playthrough as well. If you can just chuck it on in the background, that's pretty cool as well. I think they're about half an hour or so an episode. Been about a few years since I've played it, but it was one of the first things I ever, Season 3 on DVD. It is one of the first things I ever put up on the channel as well, so you might want to go back. You can search like oldest videos to newest and you'll find it somewhere near the start, especially when I used to just chuck random stuff up in the early days as well. So that has been, I know it was slightly more than 10 because I cheated on a couple of games, but that has been my 10 most valuable, not most valuable, but my 10 most unique PlayStation 2 games. If you did enjoy the video, flick a like down the bottom. If you haven't commented, comment and I'll comment back. If you subscribe, you're a legend. I've also made top 10, bottom 10 most unique videos for the PS4, PS3, PS2, and if people enjoy these videos, I will do PS1, Vita, Xbox, Wii U, Switch, you name it, I've probably got it, and I'll make a video out of it. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today I am going through my 10 most unique PlayStation 3 games out of the 372 PS3 games that I own. The first game on my list is AFL Live, or Aussie Rules Football Live, which was released back in 2010 and in my opinion is the best AFL game of all time. This game released back in 2010 and is absolutely amazing. Now my list will be in alphabetical order, no preference. I'm going to run through from A to Z, but AFL Live back in 2010, I played this game so often. And there was a big rumour that they ran out of money towards the end of the development cycle, so could only pay for 2 licensed tracks in the game. So you will hear Holy Grail and one other song that I've forgotten, and you'll just hear that on repeat all the time. But I have the original version here as well, so let's have a little look through. And then also I have the version that was released a year later, once GWS were in the competition. This version was when Gold Coast joined. This is when GWS joined as well. And actually, it looks pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is the disc is the same and the book is the same. You just have to download GWS and Skoda Stadium. Don't even think it's called Skoda anymore. But if you're into Australian rules football, this is the game for you. We'll have a little look through the manual while you're checking out some footage. Big thick manual as well. I can't imagine it's in every language. So they did a good job going through the manual. And definitely a unique game if you are not from Australia. So if you've managed to get this game imported to any other country, let me know. Back when I lived in the United Kingdom, they would actually release the AFL games on PS2 in my local game store as well. So they had AFL Premiership 2003, 4, 5, 6 and 7. The PS2 era, there were a lot of good games in the PS2 era. And then this game is the GOAT in my opinion. There was AFL Evolution on the PS4 and the terrible AFL 23 on the PS5. Those are bad. AFL Evolution 2, bad. AFL Live 2 is actually made by a different studio. Not great either. AFL Live is the game for you. Now my second most unique PS3 game is actually a 2-for-1 special, and it is the Awakened Fate Ultimatum and the Guided Fate Paradox, released by NIS America, which are normally more known for the Disgaea series. So it's a bit of a rogue-like RPG, kind of like a dungeon RPG, but heavy on story as well. Now I have played a little bit of each game, probably only an hour for each one, but really, if you're into Disgaea, then you'll probably enjoy these games. And these games are not ones that you will find around. I don't know where I got this game from, but it doesn't have an Australian cover here, but the Guided Fate Paradox does. So let's have a little look through. So some great artwork there indeed. You can check out my little playthrough. Very, very short booklet. It's really just a how to play for the Awakened Fate Ultimatum. You can find them on the PS3 store, even though I think that's pretty much closed down now. But a lot of these games, I'm not sure if you can play these games on any other system as well, so kind of locked to PS3. You need a PS3 to play them, and you need to try and track down a physical copy. And even though I'm not really doing pricing on these games, to find each of these games is at least, I would say it's at least $50 per game. So you do have to fork out a bit of cash if you are looking for the Guided Fate Paradox and the Awakened Fate Ultimatum. The third game on my list is Battleship, which I believe comes from the 2008 movie of the same name. It is a first-person shooter that is mediocre in every single way. I believe about a 5 out of 10, but I've never really seen this game around at all. So I think I was in a second-hand store looking for some games, and I came across this game and I picked it up. So not one I ever remember being in stores. Maybe it has a very limited print run. It's not a super valuable game, but it's not a cheap game. I think it's around maybe the $20, $25 mark if you want to pick it up in Australia. If you're in other regions, you know, who knows, check out price charting and on eBay and see what you think. But it starts okay. I think it's just a very generic, very simple shooter. And around the time when your Call of Duties and your Battlefields were dominating, Killzone, Gears of War, it's the same, God of War, that's a bit different, but Gears of War was around for the Xbox. There wasn't really a place for Battlefield, or not Battlefield, but Battleship. So, pretty unique game, as in, I don't see it turn up very often in people's collections or at shops. So, that's why I've added it to the unique game list. The fourth game on my list is the Eye of Judgment. And for the Eye of Judgment, you do need the PlayStation Eye. There's mine, haven't opened it yet, just to play the game. So I think you can normally pick this game up very, very cheaply because you also need the Eye to play it. So without having that accessory, it is almost worthless on its own. But the idea is that you set up your camera and then you play a card game on the grid that's displayed on the screen. I think the developers had the idea that you would buy the card packs and that would supplement the game income, a little bit like the Mattel Hyperscan, the idea they had for that disastrous console. But from what I heard, that most people just started printing their own cards offline or online and using them. So I don't think the Eye of Judgment ended up being very successful, but it does get a place on my unique PS3 games list. It's not something I've really seen before or since, but there is the disc. And you know what, even if we're not playing the game, there's some pretty cool artwork here as well, and a pretty meaty book explaining the rules. So I think it's a good idea, but I don't think that it was ever really going to become a really profitable or easy idea. I think when you have games that require peripherals, you know, like a Guitar Hero controller or the DJ deck or the drums or that drawing thing tablet that didn't go very well, I think it really puts a limited lifespan on the game as well, that by the time you've lost that accessory or you don't have a camera anymore, or you can't find it, it makes it really hard just to chuck this game in and play it. So definitely gets a spot on the unique games list. Game number 5 on the unique games list is the Millennium European Paintball Series Championship Paintball 2009. What a mouthful. I've put it under M for Millennium Paintball. And I can't believe someone decided to make a game about paintball. You must really be into paintball to want to buy this game. Interestingly, this game is also available on the PS2. I do have it on the PS2 as well. And this game is normally very, very cheap to buy. It didn't quite feature on my least valuable PS3 games list, so it does cost more than $5, but you can probably find it for under 10 or maybe 15 where you have a look. You just need to find a copy. I think it's pretty cheap on eBay if you're desperate to play Millennium Championship Paintball. I do like, though, they tried to include some of the people who are popular in paintball. I'm not really into paintball, I've only played it once, and once was enough for me. And they've got some, you know, some of the I don't want to say the players, but some of the guys from paintball, and you kind of play the paintball rules, capture the flag, just eliminating the other team. So there's 30 tournaments, 67 teams, 110 pieces of officially licensed gear. So I think they've got different paintball guns as well. So if you're into the scene, I can't imagine this being a big seller, but if you're into the scene, then this is the game for you. I don't think they've made a paintball game since, so they probably shouldn't have called it Paintball 2009. They probably should have just called it Paintball, because they were definitely not doing, as far as I know, a yearly release. But it's got a little manual, nothing super excited. I love they've got the old backwards compatible PS3 there, which you can play your PS2 games. You can play the PS2 copy of this if you want to. So yeah, graphics, you know, I assume it's a very, very low cost developer that's put this game together. So they've worked with what they've got, kind of bridged that awkward PS2, PS3 era gap. But you know what, if you're desperate to play paintball, well, there's a game for you, but it's on the PS3. Game 6 on the unique PS3 games list is Nat Geo Quiz Wildlife. Kind of in the vein of the Buzz party games. National Geographic have decided, hey, guess what? Let's put together a game and let's release it. Not a game that you see around very often, at least in my opinion, and I've been to lots of game stores. I scour the land looking for games, and when I came across this game, I think it was only about $4, but I thought I'd pick it up because it looks unusual. When I did play through it, I have to be honest with you, it probably should be targeted at kids and families, but it is brutally hard. I think I've just jagged a couple of answers here in the playthrough, and I felt like, gee, if I got some wrong, I was going to be a little bit embarrassed. But I felt the difficulty was very high. Maybe I don't know as much about the world as maybe I should, but I just found it very challenging. So when it says wildlife, they needs to maybe have wildlife challenge on there. So you go through some quizzes, the host grills you on stuff, you go around the 3D world, you answer questions around the world, you get some videos and images, which is pretty cool, completely in English. Maybe they release this in different languages, I'm not too sure, but there is, it looks a bit like the Irwins all enjoying themselves. Yes. Oh, I do like this as a little postcard. This is what I like about these games. It says, welcome to the Nat Geo Quiz family. We hope that you'll enjoy playing with Wildlife, but here's a little secret. Wildlife is just the beginning. For more information, please visit www.natgeoquiz.com. What are you waiting for? Okay, I didn't even know that was in there. But we do get a cool booklet because we are still in the booklet era for the most part. For the PS3, we've got a good 17 pages. Welcome to the quiz. Yeah, there's 1,000 questions. But it's pretty hard, so I kind of like the You Don't Know Jack series. That's probably my go-to for quizzes as well, and Drawful if you've ever played that. That's a good party game, and if you've ever gotten the Buzz controllers out, they are good fun as well. Do have some Buzz controllers and have played that. It's still good fun is Buzz, but you do need the controllers. You could probably use your phone now, to be fair as well. Maybe they should redo Buzz. I'm getting distracted by Buzz, but it's kind of a spin-off of Buzz. National Geographic Quiz Wildlife, number 6. Game 7 on the unique PS3 list is Generator Rex, which I think I wrote down as Operator Rex, so I should have had it earlier in the list. But Generator Rex, Agent of Providence. Now, I'm pretty sure this did not get an Australian PAL release, as I picked this up when I went to Singapore on holiday, and it was $10 Singapore dollars. It's the same as Australian dollars. It's like 1-to-1. It was reduced down to 7. So I haven't actually opened this yet, so I'm going to open this up, and I'll have to do a little bit of capturing later, and you'll get to see some Generator Rex. Now this game is normally quite cheap online as well if you can access it. I think you can access it through the PS4 store, but I'm not sure. Alright, you get to see the grand openings, always good fun. Opening a game for the first time. Seeing what's inside. There we go, open, throw the rubbish away. Generator Rex. The fate of the world rests in the hands of one superpowered teenager. Now sorry if I keep calling it Operator Rex, it looks like Operator to me, but it's Generator Rex. The font is a bit tricky. Alright, we've got the game disc, and how big is our booklet? This must be the little code to stop you stealing it from the store. Agents of Providence. So a short booklet, but it was a good one to add to the collection. If I ever go overseas, I do try and find things that aren't local here to Australia. We don't get every single game, especially more of the niche games. So if it's not released in JB Hi-Fi or EB Games, generally you have to import some of the more unusual games. So if I see them, if I'm overseas and I got a little bit of room in the suitcase, I pop it in and try and get it back to add to the collection. Number 8 on my most unique PS3 games list is an absolutely beautiful game called Rain, or Lost in the Rain in some parts of the world. Now this was mainly a PlayStation Network game. It only got a physical copy mainly in Japan, which is the copy that I have here for you, and it was also released, I believe, in Hong Kong, where it has an English language option, but that version is around $1,000, so that's very expensive. I bought this from, I believe, a hard off in Japan for around 3,500 yen, which is about 40 Australian dollars. It is all in Japanese, but I did follow a guide along. The text is minimal, so you don't really need the text to play, but for some reason, only known to Crabman, I translated the entire game, and hopefully I've put a little link up the top, or at least it's down below in the description. I played this whole game, and I translated the whole game from Japanese to English, so it's in Japanese and it's in English. Why did I do that? Who knows? It took me like a full week. I don't know why I did it. It has like 300 views. So if you do enjoy this game and you want to check it out in English or Japanese, please click that link, because I spent a long time on this very unique, awesome game. So I really wanted a physical copy, so I picked it up, and you'll see my receipt. There it is from Book Off. You see it's actually the only game here in English, 3,520 yen. Picked up a couple of other games as well. I think this game here, 1,200 yen, is the McDonald's Parappa the Rapper PS2 game. So I've uploaded that as well, so check that out on the channel. I love the disc with the rain droplets on there as well. It has an amazing soundtrack as well. I think it's Claire de Lune, if I've got that wrong. I'm so sorry, but here's Rain. And also on the disc there was a music video which I uploaded as well. These feel like actual postcards. These are like really thick, so technically you could pull these out and use these as postcards. I don't know why you would, because like they're so beautiful in here, and that's just how to play as well. But definitely a game worth playing. You do have to download it off the PS3 store if it's still online. I'm not sure if it is anymore, but it's kind of a game that is locked to the PS3, so it's still exclusive. So you can't really play it on anything else, but if you do want to watch it, check it out on the channel. Otherwise, just enjoy it if you manage to pick up a copy. The 9th game on the list is Remember Me. Do you remember me? Probably most people don't remember this Capcom adventure game, mainly because I don't think a lot of physical copies got released, and it was a PlayStation Network game at the time, or a PlayStation Plus game at the time. So I think a few people played it on PS Plus just for a little bit and then kind of moved on, and it was very, very unique. It kind of has the feeling of Detroit Become Human, if you've ever played that game, even though that game was released a little bit later. But it's kind of a futuristic world. So, and you kind of fight through the world, a little bit like Control as well, if you've played that game. So you can kind of change your memories and change the world. I probably played through about half. It's by Don't Nod Studios. But I didn't make it all the way to the end. I've always been meaning to get back and give it a bit of a go. But it's a very unique game to have a physical copy of. I'm not sure that it had the biggest release. And you don't really get a book, or if you did get a book, the book has disappeared. I didn't get this new. I might have got it new, but I got it on clearance. So I can't remember if it was new or it was pre-owned. But I did find it at a JB Hi-Fi. Stashed with about 3 PS3 games left, and it was like $10, so I definitely wanted to pick it up. I remember seeing it in the store and it was like $75 for like 10 years. It was just so expensive for so long, and then eventually someone reduced it down to $10, so I picked it up. So yeah, good game that I don't think you can play on any other system except for PS3, so very unique for the PS3. Can't really play it anywhere else. I'm pretty sure you can't. So, you know, I think it's a game that has been forgotten about. And my 10th and final game on my unique PlayStation 3 games list is The Testament of Sherlock Holmes. Now, I had no idea this game existed until about 6 months ago when I found it in a second-hand store and I saw it on the shelf and I had to look it up, and I had no idea that this was even a thing. So, not the cheapest game to find, but not the most expensive. I think you can find it online for around $30 if you're looking to pick it up, which isn't cheap, but it isn't mega expensive. So it's kind of like a point-and-click adventure game where you solve some puzzles. I kind of played the first 30 minutes, haven't really got a chance to get through. When you have 3,000 games on the shelf, there's quite a few games that sadly you're not going to get to unless you invent a time machine a la Steins Gate, Elsa Congaroo. But it does look a fairly solid point-and-click adventure, and there were games around at the time, things like The Walking Dead. They were kind of mainly story aspects, but you had to do a little bit more exploring in here as well. So if you are into Sherlock Holmes and this is kind of your jam, then, you know, track down a copy. Oh, here's my receipt. I didn't really have a proper look here. Oh, I spent $52. What else did I buy? I'll go through what I bought. But you do get a book. While you're having a quick look at the book, I'll tell you how much this was. I think it was about $12. Let me have a look here. Sherlock Holmes, $15. What else did I buy? Buzz, $6. What else did I buy? Wii Sports, $2. Mario Kart, $10. Mario Kart for the Wii. And Twilight Princess for the Wii, $19. So some good finds there on that day. Alright, let's have a look at Sherlock Holmes. You can see Big Ben there in the background. Again, if I make any mistakes in these videos, please let me know in the comments. But if you've played Sherlock Holmes, let me know. If you've played any of the games on this list, just let me know, because these are all pretty unique games, and games that you don't see very often if you go to a game store, if you go to a retro game store now that it's, you know, we're well into the 2020s, you know, you're probably not going to see Sherlock Holmes. This is probably not a game that's going to be there on the shelf. So if you have seen it, let me know. Anyway, this has been Crabman from Crabman Gaming. If you have enjoyed my 10 most unique PlayStation 3 games, please flick a like down at the bottom. If you comment, I will reply. If you are subscribed, you're an absolute legend. I'm also releasing my top 10, my bottom 10, my most unique games for the PS4, 3, 2, 1, Vita. And if they're successful, I might jump onto some other systems as well. Please check out the other videos on the channel. There are lots and lots of things there. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today I am going through my 10 most unique PlayStation 4 games. These are made up of my own hidden gems, games that you don't normally find in game stores, and just anything unusual I've picked up across my travels. Here is my PS4 Pro, and if you do like this video, please flick a like down the bottom, comment your own unique PS4 game, and if you subscribe, you're an absolute legend. Number 10 is 1111 Memories Retold. This game tells the story of Kurt, a German soldier, and Harry, an American photographer, during the First World War, the end of the First World War in 1918. Now, this game is on PlayStation Plus, so you don't need to track it down to buy it. A little bit of a criticism of the game is its graphics, but trust me, I've played this game to the end. The graphics all blur together after a while, so you don't notice. So what will remain? On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, Kurt and Harry face the biggest decision of their lives. This is the moving story of the end of World War I, a meaningful experience to understand the consequences of war and to never forget. Voice acting by Elijah Wood, who is Frodo Baggins in Lord of the Rings, and Sebastian Koch. Let's have a little look inside. Here's the disc. Most of the time the discs are the same. If you're buying it on PS Plus, you're not going to see the disc. And little booklet. It's a pretty cool t-shirt. Some service help, joining the Epic Rewards Club, and a code to get the soundtrack. So definitely play this game. Number 9 is Cosmic Star Heroine. And I bought this game from Limited Run quite a long time ago. It is still sealed. I'm not normally someone who keeps games sealed. However, on this occasion, I had to wait so long for the game that I bought the game digitally. As you can see from the footage, I did beat the game. I'm showing you some of the action near the end of the game. So I've kept this sealed, and I probably not going to open it even for this video, so you can see a pretty cool cover. I don't have a lot of limited run games, mainly because shipping to Australia is brutally expensive from the US. It's about $30 a game. You do have to wait an entire year, but I did really like the look of this game. Couldn't wait to play it, so did get myself a digital copy. It's quite a short JRPG as well, so it will only take you about 15 hours to complete. Sometimes I'm looking to get into a JRPG and it's 60, 80, 100 hours, and yeah, I really want to play it, but that's a huge time sink. So if you want an RPG that is only going to take you around 15 hours, Cosmic Star Heroine is for you. It comes highly recommended. Number 8 is Dead Synchronicity, Tomorrow Comes Today. It is a point-and-click adventure game, not one you see in physical form very often at all. I believe this was meant to be a trilogy, and due to low sales was cancelled after part 1, which means the game finishes very abruptly. Kind of reminds me of a Telltale game, and you finish a chapter, and really for Dead Synchronicity, that is it, but I did enjoy my 3 hours with the game. I don't believe this had an Australian release because the game store has stickered over the top, which they do if it doesn't get a release here in Australia. So it's also been stickered here. Let's have a little look at the back. Time dissolves itself. Dead Synchronicity, Tomorrow Comes Today tells the story of Michael, a man with no past, who must recover his identity and decode the 2 events that brought the world to the edge of collapse. The first one is the so-called Great Wave, an inexplicable chain of natural disasters. The second is a pandemic which has turned humans into the dissolved, infected beings with special cognitive powers whose sick bodies will eventually dissolve into blood. If Michael doesn't hurry, he won't be able to avoid the impending moments of dead synchronicity when time itself dissolves. So if you do see this as a physical release, I would pick it up, as you don't see it very often at all. Number 7 is Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark, and this is the first game on the list that I actually haven't played. This is the deluxe edition, full game, plus missions and monsters expansion. You get the tip book and world map poster as well. Not a game you see in stores very often, so I did pick it up. It is a tactical RPG, so if you think in the vein of games like Vandal Hearts or the Disgaea series, that is what this game is all about. It does come with this slipcase as well. Sometimes I like these slipcases. Sometimes I don't, because they do tend to get a little bit grubby, as you can see when I picked up Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo, they get rather rough pretty quickly. But if we have a flip over on the back, Felseal Arbiter's Mark is a turn-based tactical RPG with a focus on storytelling and strategic battles. Set in a fantasy world with a touch of steampunk, unfold a mature story as you lead your troops through handcrafted scenarios. And here are some features here as well. Let's have a little look at the game. So you actually get an art book. Let's have a look at that later. This is the game. It's the same as the slipcase. So you don't have to have the slipcase if you don't want to. Always a bit tricky to get the disc out. There's the disc. And what I tend to do as well is, here's my receipt for the game, $15. So a pretty good price, bought it at the end of 2023. What I've started doing as well is putting the front stickers inside the case. I wish I did that earlier, because sometimes the receipts fade, and also you get to see the cool game store stickers as well. I don't think it hurts to put those inside. Here's the little booklet as well. Oh, it's like a map. Just show you through the map of the game. Pretty cool to get a map. Not many games come with a map. I can think of like Grand Theft Auto and also Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls games. So we have our booklet again, which not many games come with as well. It's kind of telling you the different party classes. Kind of reminds me of getting a big box PC game back in the day when you used to get a really cool booklet along with a game. I'll show you the entire booklet if you are interested. And then it kind of flicks through. It's a big booklet, but it skips into different languages. So we've had English at the start, so I am just going to flick through rather quickly. You can check out the gameplay footage there as well. That doesn't even fit in because it's in the slipcase. So hopefully you enjoyed Felseal Arbiter's Mark. Number 6 is Forestry 2017, the simulation about managing your own forestry business. Now, I did see this game online for just $5 a few minutes from my house on a local marketplace, so I did rush to go pick it up. Not one I've seen in stores very often, and I believe this game is very, very average. I've only played it to capture the footage, as you can see. I did watch someone's YouTube play along of this game, and it is absolutely hilarious. The horse falling over while absolutely rigid. But let's check out what it says on the front cover. Various realistic wood cutting equipment, unique character leveling system, fully grown worker management, 4 different types of trees for further processing, upgrade your skills, and unlock different chainsaws. Actually, the chainsawing part was pretty fun. It is a G-rated game. I'm not reading all that out, that's a lot. I'll read a little bit for you. Check out some of the cool pictures of the cutting-edge graphics. Cutting edge, haha. Forestry 2017, this simulation takes you to the forest. Take over the tasks of a professional woodcutter and enjoy working in the woods. Control huge machinery, harvester trucks, tractors and crane arms. Fell the trees, not very eco-friendly. Arrange the timber and comb through your wood. Sell the wood, several products, and earn money to expand your company. Well, let's have a little look inside. All you really get is the disc, which looks like the front cover, as most of the discs. It's pretty much the same. I really wish they'd do something cool with the discs. Not too many games do that, but hopefully you've enjoyed seeing my little playthrough. If you've played Forestry, let me know below. Don't really think anyone has. Number 5 is Naruto Shippuden Ultra Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto and Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. If you thought that was a mouthful, it's because it absolutely is. And why I've put this game on the list is because it is a 2-for-1 pack-in, which is extremely rare on the PlayStation 4. I know the Xbox 360 did this a couple of times with a pure Lego combination and a Gears of War Rare Replay combination, but very rare on the PS4 to have a 2-for-1 combo. So as you can see on the spine, what an absolute monster of a title. And it is a 2-for-1 special, the Ultimate Ninja compilation. Create your own avatar and face the other ninjas online. And the perfect storm is here. 2 discs, which is rare, except if you have an installation disc, things like Red Dead Redemption 2. And I believe the Final Fantasy remake. So let's have a little look inside. You get a, some Bandai store codes. I'll cover that up, not that I'm really ever going to use the code. Stick that off to the side. But you do get, what's interesting, 2 different discs as well. So it's not 2 games on 1 disc, but you have Naruto. What a title, what a mouthful. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto. That could be the longest PS4 title on its own. But then you also get Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. Not really huge into Naruto, but I think this was $10 or $12 to pick up. So it was very cheap, very unusual. So I do like collecting unusual things. So if you do enjoy Naruto, enjoy the footage. Number 4 is Omori, and this is the game I'm currently playing through right now. I'm about 8 hours into the game. I did originally play this game on Xbox Game Pass, but I was about 5 hours in and then the game was randomly delisted, and I was waiting to buy a physical copy here in Australia, and EB Games and the department stores had this listed on their website as coming soon for about 2 years. So eventually I had to just purchase a copy off eBay and get it imported. Now, this game in Australia is not on the PlayStation Store, so this is the only way to play it on your PS4 if you are in Australia. I know in the US, I believe it's on your store. I think it's also on the Switch store as well, but it is about a 12-year-old hikikomori boy called Sunny in the day and Omori in his dreams. And it is a JRPG. So explore through vibrant and mundane to uncover a forgotten past. When the time comes, the path you've chosen will determine your fate, and perhaps the fate of others as well. And this game is rated M, and I believe in Australia it would be rated an MA. So you do get the disc, which again is just the cover. What I do really like, I'm going to move the disc out the way, after the book, I kind of like the inside because the cover is very plain. Omori is the only character in black and white for the entire game, as well as you notice black pupils, black eyes, black hair, and all the other characters, like his Basil, they are coloured in. So I'll move that out the way. Let's go through the booklet. I do like you get a full booklet as well, which looks really cool. There's the game world. There's Omori, welcome to White Space. Here's the story. In Omori, you'll embark on a journey in search of your close friend Basil, who has mysteriously vanished. This road will lead you to unexpected places, acquaint you with whimsical characters big and small, and pit you against your worst nightmares. At Journey's End, you will discover the truth behind you and your friends. Here are the characters you'll meet. Now, you meet a lot of these early, so these aren't really spoilers for the game, but here's Omori. This is Omori. I'm not going to read that out, but you can have a look at it if you like. There's Aubrey. And these characters are in real life and in your dream world as well. There's Kel. Kel throws his ball around as well when he attacks. And Hero, who's kind of your healer. It kind of feels like, to me, Kel would be more of the healer and Hero would be more of an attacker, but Hero is more your healer and cooks for your party. Here's your gameplay menu. Now, don't forget to change your weapons. I kind of forgot that I got different weapons and different skills throughout the game, so I kind of forgot to upgrade them for a little part. And what's interesting is the emotion system in this game. So you want to make your characters happy or sometimes sad or angry, and that will level them up as well. It'll probably show you on this page. Oh no, I think we've got another page to go here. Where are our emotions? So your battle plays out due to your speed. Here's the emotions chart. So you can have sad, which raises your defense, and Omori does attacks that if he is sad, it will raise his attack. And it shows what happens here. If you're manic, happy, ecstatic, manic, sad, depressed, miserable, angry, enraged, furious. So so you can kind of stack the emotions as well. Follow-ups is a really cool system as well. I feel like this game comes with a book. The book is pretty interesting, so there's that kind of the special moves as well, and yeah, something pretty sinister. There's white space, which you do begin the game in. And actually I was going to show you this as well, the pictures that you can look through. That's a part in the game where you can look through a photo album as well. So hopefully you enjoyed having a little look at Omori. Number 3 is Parappa the Rapper, a remaster of the original PS1 game. Now this was only released physically in Japan, and I did go to Japan last year and posted back about 88 video games. I'll try and put a little link up above for you to check that out. How to do that if you go to Japan, what is the best way to get your games home. I mostly bought PS3 and PS2 games, but tried to get PS4 games that I couldn't get anywhere else. Now, I haven't opened this yet. It still looks sealed, brand new. Most of the other games, as you can see, the little PlayStation sealed there down the bottom. This was 1,500 yen, so that's about 15 Australian dollars, and about $10 US, so not too tricky at all. I'm saving the opening of this game for this video, and then I'm going to capture the footage. So I'm trying to find the cool little tag, but let's have a look first. So actually I can't read Japanese, so I can't read anything out on there for you, but let's get the tag. Let's open the tag, and you get to see this game opened for the very first time. Let's see if there's anything exciting in there. And this is a game that you can very comfortably play a Japanese copy of. So let's slide it open. Not the easiest to open here. You can check out the footage alongside as well. So I did bring my trusty knife there to get that open. Finally opening you, Parappa. Doing a terrible job of opening this game. Absolutely butchered the opening of Parappa the Rapper. It looks even better with the plastic off, in my opinion. Let's open up for the very first. Wow, that is awesome. It's like a record. So most of the other games have just been the cover printed on the disc. Gee, I didn't know that's what it came as, an actual record that you can spin. I like it's got side A there as well. Gonna give this a definite spin and a go. That looks really awesome. Let's check out the inside. Not really exciting, but I do like there's a kind of Parappa and some things themed from the game as well. Well, there's Parappa the Rapper opened for the first time. Again, a shame this didn't come as a physical copy in the West, but there's a cool Japanese copy to check out as well. Now, I have, if you are interested, the McDonald's PS2 version of Parappa as well. I'll try and chuck that up the top for you to check out. Number 2 is Rad Rogers, and it very much reminds me of a Super Nintendo run and gun shooter, but with slightly more mature elements. That's why this game is M here for mature audiences. As you can see, there's Rad, his kid with a massive gun on there as well. So let's check it out. Jump, run and gun your way through this 90s era inspired platformer at its 7 dangerous stages of action-packed, humour-filled, hardcore platforming fun. I picked this up because I haven't seen this game for sale very often here in Australia. Maybe in the US or the UK you've seen it lots, as they did have to sticker this game as well, like one of the earlier games. So let's check it out. Does the inside look very exciting? It's really just the disc, but this game was fun for the little bit I've played. I haven't played it all the way to the end. I've just played it to capture footage for this video. So a cool little throwback. It wasn't very expensive. I don't think it's very expensive to purchase online as well, but if you're into kind of Metal Slug, into the old run and gun shooters, then this could be a cool little pickup. I thought this was really unusual. I hadn't seen it a lot, so I thought it would be a cool addition to this video. In the number 2 position. And number 1 is Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus. This game was originally released on the PlayStation Vita, but then got a slightly enhanced edition on the PlayStation 4. Sadly for Australians, this did not get an Australian release, and if you get a PAL release of this game with the kind of UK logo on there, that game is worth about $300. So the American version is not super expensive, but a PAL version not released in Australia, a UK version of this game, will go for a lot of money. Now this is by the same series makers as Trails of Cold Steel, so you see the dialogue boxes will look exactly the same, and you may see the footage appearing where you can go into a store and watch footage from Trails of Cold Steel as well, which is hilarious. But let's check out the back of this game. Now this game is very similar to Persona 5, and what was interesting was I played Persona 5 first, then I played this game, and I thought, gee, this game is exactly like Persona 5, but this game did come out first. But it's not turn-based, it's an action RPG, and I liked it a lot, played it through to the end. Prepare to battle the hordes of the Eclipse in blistering action RPG combat. So instead of going to Mementos, you go to the Eclipse in this game. When high school student Ku Tokisaka encounters the nightmare realm known as the Eclipse, his world is forever changed. Reality distorts as monsters threaten the safety of Morimiya City. Ku must transform his soul into a powerful weapon to defeat the vile Eclipse once and for all. So you get to explore the city, explore the Eclipse, and this is additional on PS4. You get some side stories, new playable characters, time attack and boss rush, and new dungeons, quests and collectibles. So even though I am a really big fan of the PS Vita, this really should be where you want to play the game. And it is available online as well on the PlayStation Store, so you don't have to track down a physical copy in order to play it. Let's get the disc out for a little look. It's similar to the front cover, but different, which I do like. I don't like when the disc is just the front cover. And you get a really cool instruction manual as well. Now, I bought this game, I think in Kuala Lumpur when I was overseas on holiday, because again, you couldn't get this game in Australia. So when I saw this game and it was an RPG, I jumped straight on it. A pretty cool book here which tells you about the game. As an ordinary high school student, I think that's almost every JRPG or RPG set in Japan. There's Morimiya City. Really cool game. If you haven't played it, please jump on board. Looks like the Tokyo Skytree as well. Got a video there if you want to track that down on the channel. Going to the Tokyo Skytree, here are the characters in the game. Did really enjoy it. So if you enjoy Persona, you will absolutely love this game. If you like Trails of Cold Steel, you will like this game as well. They're all very similar, but they are all very good as well. Highly recommended. Kind of an underappreciated game. Does get lost in the Persona Trails kind of realm of games. But this is the end of the video as well. This was my 10 most unique PS4 games. It was in alphabetical order if you did pick that up as well. But if you did like this video, flick a like down the bottom. Comment maybe on your most unique PS4 game. If you subscribe, you're absolutely awesome. There's super thanks there as well. This is a series of top 10, bottom 10 and most unique games for the PS4, 3, 2, 1 and Vita. Should check out the other videos as well. Until next time, have a wonderful day and I'll see you later.